people that went to BDSS missed out on a major awesome event. I wasn't.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm.
Hey everybody, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Today, like I think the thumbnail says, big announcement. So this is episode 601, and let's see, why don't you run the music, Kels? Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a big announcement. And to do this, probably going to be a short podcast today, but Kelsey's going to come and join me any second here. Hello, right. Kelsey.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good. We just got back from BDSS.
Yeah,
so
and level up.
Yep. So we're trying to adjust ourselves, I think, to the time. But
I slept all day. 100% all day.
That's
Did
nice.
You do the same?
The first night, yeah, I did do that.
Yeah.
I just went completely through. This second day, I'm starting to get back to normal, but it's still not 100% yet.
Yeah, it was a very good event, and I guess I wanted to start with just letting people know, we talk about this a lot, why people go to events. And I think this is one of the reasons. You go there. I got to meet a bunch of new people that I haven't really spent a lot of time with. And all of a sudden, at the end of it, you're friends with them. And that's what I really like. There's some incredibly smart people at these events, but these incredibly smart people that have similar personalities, it's also great to meet and now have a whole new friendship with, which is great. I mean, that's how Kevin and I, who have become very close friends, started the Marketing Misfits. So met him at the first Illuminati, and then the second one is actually where he came over to my event, and we became much closer, and then it led to our getting into business together. So I don't know, what were your thoughts?
Well, I think this has been now one of like the fourth or fifth event I've been to now. So
yep.
The people that have been going to these events, I've seen people now 3 times in a row, and I feel like starting to actually like build friendships with a lot of people. And I know like Steve was there, so we got to hang out with him a lot, and I see him at a bunch of conferences, so it's always great to
Steve Fillion.
Yeah, catch up with him and
his wife and his child. That was nice to meet them.
So it's really cool. And I think also seeing the different styles of conferences too. So even within Billion Dollar Seller Summit and Level Up, like those are 2 very different events with completely different feels. So it's been really nice to have the opportunity to put myself into these different situations and see the differences and the different speakers that are there, the different settings of the bigger settings or the smaller settings. So it's been a really cool experience.
How did you like meeting some of these big players?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool sitting next to Perry Belcher for dinner and having some garlic bread with him. Yeah. So Mark DeGrasse and really cool.
So Mark's been on the podcast before. I know Perry wants to come on the podcast, but it was just you mentioned that it was so different, and this is what I want to anybody who's listening right now. I wanted to show you the difference, and BDSS. I would say it's more for an intermediate to advanced seller. I think the average sales were about 7 million, but if you had $1 million in sales or $500,000 in sales, I think you could still go and have a good time there. But the thing about coming out of that is you'll be able to have these relationships where you could literally call somebody up. With one of the speakers and his wives, very, very big seller as well as service provider. And, I've known of the person before and his wife. And at the end of it, hey, why don't you come over, meet us in Vegas and come over to the house? It's like, I would never have guessed that would be happening. And this is, I never get starstruck. Like I've dealt with hundreds and hundreds of athletes and entertainers in my life with one of my businesses. Just, if I meet, it never happens. And it's just cool when I get to sit down with somebody that is doing something really remarkable or doing some really remarkable things in the industry, and just being able to, break bread with them. I don't know, I know I just saw Simon tune in. So, we've met, and that's another thing. We met at seller sessions. We didn't have a beer. Maybe he did. I know I would have kept my Coke zero, but, just getting to meet him. So I can't tell you enough how important it is. Marina, I know that you've gone over to, I met you at the Titan event, and that was awesome. I think you also were at the Trellis event that we put on in Toronto. So get out there and get to these events. It's just something that you've is not what you should do. It's what you've got to do to really grow. You could belong to any mastermind. You could belong to, any group, but it's not the same going out and meeting people. I know in Vegas when I met Joe Reisfeld, I mean, we were there. This was at Rich Goldstein's. He always has this huge party in Vegas. And we just sat beside each other, ended up talking for quite a long time. I knew Joe. Joe knew me. He was on the podcast, but really got to sit down and talk to him. So get out there and do that. Does anybody have any questions? I talk about it. I know a lot of you do go out to these things. I thought I'd take it easy today, just primarily because I knew I wasn't going to book a guest because I didn't know how it was going to be. I'm an old guy and just slept all day yesterday. So today I thought I'd just keep it easy and just keep it open for questions. I'd like to bring like Kelsey on and just talk to him about, anything that he learned at these events. So Kelsey, why don't you come back on?
Hey, I'm back.
I'm going to put you in the corner. So
Okay.
There was a lot of great speakers there and at both events. First of all, what event did you like better?
Ooh, I think they're both great events, but Level Up was just incredible and blew me away just what style of event it was.
Okay, we've traveled. When you were a kid, we traveled a lot. We went to some pretty wild places, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple. And have you ever been in a hotel like that?
No, that was the first. Yeah, if anyone's ever has the opportunity to go to the One Hotel, it's an incredible experience. So again, very thankful that I was able to go to a place like that. But that event, for Level Up, it is a much smaller group. So there's, I think, about 50 people there. And throughout the events, there were activities throughout that were all really cool. Like a float tank I got to do, and all different activities throughout. But
this is in between the speakers that are going. You never miss a speaker, which is kind of cool. So Kevin always travels with his personal trainer. So everybody who wants to, the crazy people, get up at 6 and go to the beach and train, they can. But then there's always the speakers, and there's 2 speakers, a bit of a break, then 2 more speakers each day. And then you had some, I think it was twice, Kels. You could have, the personal events that you had. Like I had this, what was it called? Simone tank or whatever.
Somatic, yeah.
That's it. Don't know the names of these things, but that was really cool. I would never have done it. I would never have done it. But when I did it, it was really, really cool. Never experienced anything like that. And then there was just so many different types uh, of appointments that you could go to. That really was different. I've never been to an event like that. But what I liked at that event, I know Simon's asking, but about the strategies. I learned so much, and I love AI. We always talk about AI here, but when Perry and Mark and who was the other person that was talking about it? Oh, Molly. Those three people, for me, really knocked it out of the park. I loved hearing them, and it was. I think they all came one after another, right? They were the last three. Athena was the last speaker, but those were one after another. I thought it was fantastic. You couldn't get better advice about, and some of the topics were custom GPT. So just walking through some of the things that you could use it for, and then creating a GPT agent. I thought that training was really good too. And what was cool about it too is they gave us all the GPTs that you could just go and download, which was nice. But there's when I go to a lot of events, I typically think that I know most of the stuff that's going on. In this event, there was a lot of speakers. I just was taking notes, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, and the way it was set up, the first day was definitely more personal development based. So a lot more maybe psychology and some work that you could do for yourself and how to improve yourself so that your business can thrive. And then the second day was a lot more AI based, still other topics, but my favorite actually that was pretty relevant to what I do, Mikal, who focused on video content and how to focus and find your charismatic type.
She was, yeah, Macau was really good.
So how to find, how to match your charisma style to the different, I guess there's 54 different styles you have as a person. And if you're trying to do the other 53 types, you're going to come off as disingenuous.
And you'll fail.
And you'll fail. But if you can lock down and find out which one you are and kind of lean into that and follow the people that are like that as well, it can help you connect with people. And so that was something that like I could really take away from something. So,
which reminds me, I still got to contact her.
Yeah, definitely.
We should have her on the podcast. So she, it was so interesting. I knew that that she was coming, but I didn't know it would be that exciting. So just seeing her up on stage and talking about, okay, here's this first group, then here's this next group, and then here's this next group, and you've got to pick exactly which one you are. And and this could be for any type of like being in front of the camera at all. If you're an influencer, you're doing a video, even if you're watching an influencer, you ever know when you have that cringe moment and you just go, they're off. That's because they're not being themselves.
Yeah. And I think anyone who's tried video content, you might think like you might feel this disingenuousness that like when you're talking, it's not really you. And like Simon's saying, is it like the Myers-Briggs personality types? It's definitely kind of like that in a way, whereas there's different categories and it's a mix of the three different categories. But let's just say like there's entertainment type that you have to pick. So there's like an amaze if you're like feeling like you have I'm not the best at explaining it, but there's amaze, excite, charm, and you have to figure out which one you are in that way. And then there's a couple other aspects and components to it, where you kind of mix and match to find different people, and there's different celebrities that you can lean into. So that one was definitely really cool. So and then Colin, of course,
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Just learning how to build, start, scale, exit, repeat your business. And I know I had my phone out and just had like a list of just different points that he was saying, and I'm going to go back and focus on that. So let me see, Simon, what's it called? It was called Charisma Styles. I'll try and find if she has a course or anything.
She has a website.
Yeah, I have to remember which website that is. I'll look into it now if you want to.
Yeah, sure. And then there's another lady. I've tried to get her on the podcast, but Melissa Vong. So she did a great job. That was BDSS though. Yeah, that was it's so weird. Everything kind of blended together. Two completely different events, but the time was just all blended together. So over at BDSS, I thought it was great. It was long, hard days. Like Kevin had us up sometimes till 11 o'clock at night and started at 9. They were long days. But then there were days that we were playing around too, which was kind of cool. Anybody have any questions about this? Because I can move on. I just wanted to really let you know about what was going on with the event that we went to. And I know he's doing it in Iceland next year. I don't think tickets are on sale yet. I'll let you guys know if they or when they do come on sale. But they're doing it again. And all I can tell you, and I know this from the way that he does his thing, is that it's always better. He always tries to one up the last time he does anything. So Iceland looks like it's going to be a really good time. I think the people that went to BDSS missed out on a major awesome event. I was just going to support him. Kevin's a good friend of mine, and I thought, I'm going to go. I'll bring Kels. Let's go and just support him. And it was so different, so good. Like if I go to a lot of events, a lot of the times I'll pull back and I'll do some work. Then I'll, kind of, I hate saying it, but I'll cherry pick which speaker I'll go and listen to. But I got work to do. So it's not like I got a lot of time that I could just go and spend all day. I did a bit of that over at BDSS. I went to most of the events, but I did have some work to do at the same time. But at Level Up, I was there 100% of the time. Was not going to move. And by the way, Kelsey, the other thing that we never talked about was Tim Jordan and his story. So Tim came up on stage, and I'm not going to spoil it for anybody if you've never heard Tim's story, but he laid it all out, and it was absolutely awesome hearing him. There was a lot of teary eyes in the room, but it was incredible what his life has been like or was like. So that's about it for that. Let's see. What does Cool Hand have to say?
He's asking, communication methods are big. Are you familiar with PCM?
No, I'm not. I don't know what PCM is.
Yeah, I'm not either. So I'll look that up. I found it's Michael Jones, who was the speaker. And the website is Charisma Hacking. So check it out. I just dropped the link. Let me see. Dr. Cause, am I still training BJJ? I am not. I took a bit of a break. I'd love to get back into it though. I was recently at a no-gi gym, but I just had to take a break for a couple months, but I'm looking to be back.
Is that like fighting with pasta noodles?
Close in a way. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, Dr. Cause, yeah, let me know if you're still training. And Norm, what is the best business strategy you learned? Was there anything that
I
stood
just
out?
talked about,
Okay.
yeah, some of the stuff we learned.
Okay.
What's
All right.
Simon saying down below there?
Norm, we've all seen Kevin's videos in the WhatsApp groups. There's not much going on, not much work going on.
Yeah. Oh, yes, there is. Kel, stay with me. Where are you? There. I was just saying, I think you were looking up this other stuff where BDS was pretty tough. Like they were long days. I was completely exhausted with these days, but then he had a lot of fun days as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on. So there's a ton of speakers. I don't know how many speakers in total there were, but every day there's one fun day where you're doing like a scavenger hunt, but the other days they're pretty packed full of speakers, probably 6 to 8 speakers a day, I think.
Yeah,
Probably
there's
close
quite
to
a
8.
few.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty crazy. And then Level Up was about, I think, 5 to 6 speakers as well a day. So
It was a looser schedule though. And yes, Simon, I think that was one of the strategies for Kevin to do it in Iceland. So people from Europe would have a much shorter way to go and to check it out. So I'm not sure the exact date, but he showed some of the tours that were going to be happening over there. And I don't know when he's going to be starting to sell his tickets, but yeah, check it out. And oh, by the way, I just saw Chat GPT. Guys, well, here's Steve. He just came on. So just that overall event. And Steve, you didn't come to the Level Up, right? You just came to the BDSS and you traveled around afterwards with your wife and child. Yeah, the level the level up. What was I going to say? Oh, with ChatGPT, I learned a ton. I really did learn a ton, and I'm on I'm on it when it comes to AI, but just being able to talk around, not even the speakers, but some of the people that were over there just knew a lot about AI and just different ways to use it. Not even like ChatGPT, like just different elements where you could start to build out different types of AI for your business and what you could do to your business to help automate everything, which was a lot of fun. But Steve, if you got any, we're just talking about the event. And if you have anything that you want to say about the event, just post it in here or any questions that you might have. Okay, let's see. What does Cool Hand have to say?
Okay, Cool Hand says the PCM is a communication style that relates to different personality types. Bill Clinton was very versed in it. I'm going to say won him the election. We're checking out. ChatGPT knows about it. LOL. So, great. And yeah, Pyro Ant says I'm so jealous of everyone that went to BDSS one day. Steve's back, and Tony Cigar says welcome back, guys.
All right. And Steve, fill in. Yeah, it was awesome. Okay. So the podcast today is not going to be a long one. Wanted to just to talk about what we did and just to let you guys know if you haven't gone to it, not even BDSS, but go to a quality event, and Ed Rosenberg's ASTGT or GTG. I keep mixing that up, but he always puts on a really good event. There's some, and we always let you know when we feel that it's a high quality event. SellerCon's always a high quality event with Mike and Matt. But you should do it. Not that you gotta do it. You should do it. Not just for the speakers, and get a VIP ticket. Some events have VIP tickets, which allows you to go in for extra networking and get to meet speakers. And when we meet speakers, Kels, you got to hang around, and not just meet speakers, but you were hanging around with them for hours on end, right? It's not like, and we're not just talking about work related stuff. Again, one of my favorites is breaking bread and learning about their family and how they got started. That's really when then all of a sudden, you get personal contact information. Hey, let's catch up after the event or something like that. But it's, hours on end. Like you got with Perry. I know the very first day you guys went on a race. I couldn't go, and Colin and I stayed behind. So we were just at breakfast, and then Perry Belcher and his girlfriend came over, and we just started talking for at least an hour and a half. And, I didn't know Perry that well. It was always just from events, and it was a head nod and how's it going, or just a quick conversation, but really had a chance to get to know him and his girlfriend. And that was only one part. This happened 4 or 5 times during the event. So I can call him a friend now. It was really cool. But where was I going with that, Kels? The VIP ticket. So your experience with that, what did you think? Like you could and Kevin pretty much opens it up, but being just able to mingle with anybody at any time.
Yeah, for that, just the way the events are. With $1 Billion Seller Summit, there's that scavenger hunt where you're basically put in a car with 4 or 5 people, and you're just with them for, I think it was like about 10 hours driving around the island. So I know the people in that car that we were driving around with, we definitely had like a very close bond afterwards. And as it moved into like the other events and level up, shout out John and Amanda. They were at Level Up as well, but I just got to meet or I've met them before, but like really get to know them.
Oh yeah, they're awesome people.
Yeah.
Alicia too. You had Alicia in the car, right?
Yeah, Alicia from Titan Network. So all these people I definitely feel a lot closer with. And then Level Up, again, it was 50 people, I think including speakers maybe, but with everyone in just like a small conference room, like the people you sit together with, like there's maybe 4 or 5 other people at the table. So every day you get to really get to know each other and go to lunch together, and everyone's just an expert there. So they're all able to help each other as well, which is a cool thing to do and a cool experience that you can work off each other. And just if you need something, like someone who knows TikTok Shop, or someone who's been in a position that you're maybe struggling, you can go to that.
It could be a life thing too.
Yeah.
Because entrepreneurs are very lonely people, especially if you're a solopreneur. And by speaking to other people who've gone through certain things, you get advice. And it's just weird how things come up, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, I've gone through that, and you can, and so I say so giving, I like saying the give to get mentality, but there was nobody that I met there that was, had an ace up their sleeve. Who knows? It might have, but everybody was just very open. And that's, again, by spending a lot of time together. Look, we spent 8 days together. That's a long time. And I know, like Ian Colin was saying, like Colin's got a lot going on in his life. And he was saying, I don't know how I'm going to do it. Norm, can I just go for Level Up? And I said, no, come for the whole thing. And, he told me he pulled me aside at the end. And he said, a matter of fact, this is how interesting and how good the event was. So Colin's my buddy who wrote that book, Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat. Day 1 of $1 Billion Seller Summit, he calls the CEO of one of his companies, flies them over for the whole rest of the conference. So like the next day, like at the end of that night, calling the person, like in the middle of the night, book a ticket, you're coming to BDSS. And the next day they were there. That was crazy. but that's how good that event was, and it really did help Michelle. Right, Michelle, that's his CEO. Said that yeah, she wouldn't have missed it for the world. And now, because of this, she got to meet Ian Sales and Frankie, Frankie's been on the podcast before, but Ian Sales, they own, they are founders of MDS. Well, guess who's joining MDS? So that's $1 Million Sellers. So that's Michelle. And then she also is joining, what was the other group that was there? Another big group. But she ended up joining, or was looking at joining, 2 associations, which I thought was awesome. And that's why we do this, right? Try to get better. So even hanging around, you don't know Ian Sells, right, that well. You do know him now, but just hanging around with Ian and having a cigar or two with him, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a cool experience, and you never know who the other person is. That's one thing that I've noticed. It could be the most quiet person in the corner, wearing shorts and a tank top, or it could be the person dressed up. Like, you never know who the person
It's the
next
quiet
to you is.
ones.
Yeah. So it's always been a cool experience to, have lunch with someone and be talking, and then the next day they're presenting on stage and you're like, oh, that was funny. That's cool. Yeah, it's a cool experience, and I think everyone is pretty humble and modest, like when I've talked to them too. So I've always had a good experience with people, I would say, for the most part, getting to know people, and yeah, it's been cool.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's probably time for the big announcement, Kels.
All right. You want to let the people know?
Well, I was going to leave it to you.
No, this is it's the
This is
lunch
on
and mine,
me?
Kelsey. This is you.
Oh, man. All right. So when did this podcast start? 2020? I think,
May 2020.
yeah, 601 episodes ago. So we have made a big decision. We are going to cut the podcast back. We can't do it 3 times a week anymore. I fund this podcast myself. We do have sponsors, but it doesn't even come clear or close to covering the costs. It's most people don't. Most people think that a podcast is pretty inexpensive to do, but it's not when you consider the people. Like we have 5 people involved with this podcast. We had 7, I think, at its height. But what we tried to do is we tried to just provide information, give back to everybody, and I think we've done that. Now the newsletter is still going to happen once a week. We're still going to have our WhatsApp group, but at the end of the day, it's just we're going to cut it back to once a week, and hopefully we won't lose anybody, but it's just so much work, and I've got to concentrate on some other things that are happening right now, and there's just so much time that you put into this, and we love doing what we do. We would never have done it if we haven't. And I just thought, well, we tried to do it at 600, but we were away. But we are not stopping, but we're just going to cut it back. So just wanted to, thank everybody for listening. And I'm not even sure what day of the week we're going to do it. It'll probably be Mondays. I think Kelsey and I will talk, and then we'll post it in the group when the next podcast is going to be. But that's it. That's the big news. I don't know if you have anything you want to say.
Yeah, I think it's a cool experience, or a cool experiment, even just to cut it down to once a week, and we'll be able to really focus on the guests that come on, the topics that we're going to be focusing on. From 12 episodes to 4 episodes, we really got to make those 4 episodes count. So I think that's going to be something that it's gonna be cool to see, and we're gonna have to be very picky with the guests, and the quality is gonna be there, and like we said, we're going to be focusing on these 4 episodes. So yeah, again, we always like the open communication lines here. So if there's topics or guests that you want to focus on and learn about, let us know. We're always happy to help and guide. I know someone even messaged me through the email the other day asking about a certain topic, if we can cover in the topic. So to learn about the Amazon changing the product nodes or item type keywords and new flat files. So I'm always getting emails about different topics and things to speak on. So it's going to be different, definitely. We've been doing this almost 4 years now. So definitely a change. We've got to get the word out. So we had to kind of pick a day to explain and announce to everyone. But yeah, I just want to say it's been a pleasure being a part of your life for 3 times a week. I know some of you set alarms every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it's going to be a bit of a change, but we're still going to be here. We're still going to be doing it. And let me see, from Drip, you guys are awesome. Thank you for all that you do. Forensic Detectors, congrats on the new format. You guys gave so much sacrifice for us. Cheers and thank you. Bartnet, thank you for the great job you're doing. I've learned a lot over the past months. I'll start to watch previous episodes, which I did not watch live. Steve, sorry to hear, but I'm sure it will be great. Thank you guys for what you're doing. I've learned a ton. And Simon, changing it to once a week is a great move. Definitely does not suck. Thank you, Simon. Appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's it for me.
Okay. Well, that's it. Today we just kind of wanted to keep it easy and talk about the event or an event. BDSS and Level Up was just the event we came from. But that exposure to the event, Simon, I hope we get to see you in Iceland, by the way. It's been a long time. But get to an event. Just don't do things virtually. Get out there, meet people, get to know them. And if you do get a chance, I know it costs money and I know it sucks that you have to pay, but you probably get 10 times more out of it if you do get the VIP ticket. When you get to network more, I can't tell you how much it could do for your business, just getting to get to know the right crowd. And remember, a lot of the times the VIPs, forget the speaker aspect of it. These are people that are willing to invest in their business, invest in themselves, so they spend a bit extra money. You'll find that a lot of them are probably like-minded individuals, and that's important. So keep that in mind. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I know that there's, if you're in a position to do it, great. If you're not, just do what you can do. Get involved with some of these groups. Just get involved. You can't do it on your own. I guarantee you that. You will not succeed. You will not be able to do what your full potential is if you don't get involved with some form of groups. Okay. And then thank you so much for bearing with us today and the big announcement. So Kelsey and I will get back to you. We're just trying to find out when I know the newsletter's coming out on Monday, and we're just saying, is the newsletter and the podcast, or should we spread it out? So we'll get back to you. And I think that's it. So thanks for joining us over the last 601 episodes. We're going to continue to keep going, having fun, delivering some great information. And I think that's it for today. Kelsey, you want to say anything or close it out?
Yeah, we will be letting everyone know the next steps from this. So stay in the WhatsApp group. We're going to be putting the updates there and in the Facebook group, and you'll find it in the newsletter too. So we'll keep everyone in the know. Also, I did post the winners of the of last week's and I guess Monday's winners. So if you haven't caught it, Monday the 20th, Simon, you won. Wednesday the 22nd with Rebecca episode, that was Drip Fit that won. Friday the 24th with our guest Simon, Hypology won. And then Monday on the 27th with Andrew and Chris's episode, Cool Hand 1. So please reach out to me if you haven't already, kate@lunchwithnorm.com. I'm going to just put this here just so everyone can see in the Facebook group. So these were the winners. Email me, k@lunchwithnorm.com to get your prize. And I also want to make sure I get to Marina and I think Brian here. We're going to go through Lunch with Norm withdrawals. Good luck starting a new chapter. And being here is cool, and the WhatsApp chat is really helpful too. So yeah, make sure you take advantage of the WhatsApp group. Sign up for the newsletter. We're going to be things are going to be changing to once a week, but we're still going to be here, we're still going to be live, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right. Okay, everybody. So join us live. No, I almost said every Monday, Wednesday, every someday. It'll be once a week. That was funny. And thanks for being part of our community. If you'd like to, you can just listen to the podcast, or if you want more Lunch with Norm, you can sign up for the newsletter, WhatsApp group, or Facebook group. We will see you next time. Have a great one, guys. Want more great information? Don't forget to subscribe by clicking here. Also, if you want to check out our latest podcasts, click over here.
Lunch with Norm.